Welcome to Shiny New Clients, the marketing podcast that helps you attract shiny new clients to your business. We'll talk about social media, what makes people buy, how to go viral, and marketing psychology, all in 20 minutes or less. Whether you're a coach, a stylist, or a wedding planner, if you've got a service-based business to sell, this is the show you need to fill your calendar. I'm Jenna Warriner, your new marketing coach, and this is Shiny New Clients. So I'm scrolling on the Instagram, rotting my brain, and I see that this entrepreneur that I really respect is flying across Canada from the West Coast to I'm the middle. There's actually a sign that says the middle of Canada, like the geographical middle. So I guess the east, flying to Ontario. I can just say the places. Vancouver to Ontario to go to this women's conference. And I usually take a lot of time to make a decision and make an investment. But I followed the conference. I opened up tickets and I was like, yes, I will go, because someone I respected bought these tickets. So I will also buy these tickets and fly to Ontario to go to this conference. And not everyone is going to make a buying decision that quickly, but sometimes when you know, when the vibe vibes. And that is also the power of Instagram marketing, my friends. So then naturally I get my ticket and I'm like, wait, who created this thing? And I find Kristina Bartold, who I already have a bunch of mutual friends with, who is the co-founder of the Social Snippet and the host of Community, the podcast. And so I have brought her in today. She is our special guest to talk about, a few different things. And I also just selfishly wanted to pick her brain a little bit about running events and creating communities, and especially creating communities of female entrepreneurs and how important that is. Anyway, hi, Kristina.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored. That was such a good intro. I was just thinking what a great podcaster you are. That is awesome. But hi, I'm so honored to be here. I'm Kristina, co-founder of the Social Snippet and High Vibe Women. My heart is in entrepreneurial community, whether that be online, through a podcast, or in person. So just honored to be here and excited.
Oh, yay. And we're both Canadian. We're both Canucks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Posers, if you will. Do you know where that comes from?
No.
It's hockey slang. Naturally. So it's the losing hockey team used to have to be responsible in a rec league for hosing down the ice to flatten it out after a game.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not a big sports girly, but now I am a Blue Jays fan. I'm a big Blue Jays girl now, but until this point I wasn't big into the Canadian sports. So now I'm in.
Yeah, but you had to, because everyone rallied around the Blue Jays because of their winning spree this year, and there was community, and you needed to be a part of it, so you're now a fan.
Yeah, and I literally was when they lost, I cried, and my husband was like, "You've been a fan for 5 minutes," and I was like, "But they're families, the people are relying on them, But 2026 is our year, guys.
That's literally so funny. Fast and hard. That's how you love.
It's how I love. I'm looking up pictures of them as kids, and I'm oh, this is just their dreams. I'm this is just our dream. And is it any different than us being Blue Jays players? A little, but not too much,
My husband told me about a trailer that he watched the other day, and I cried from his retelling of the movie trailer. So I get it.
Yeah, you're with me, girl.
Okay, tell me about High Vibe Women and how this organization came to be, which is the company or your sub company that's running this event that I immediately bought tickets to without knowing anything about it.
Oh my God, I can't wait for you to experience it. So High Vibe Women kind of came a few years ago, about 2 years ago, where we essentially, what was happening was Maria and I had the Social Snippet, which is our marketing agency. We do social media, podcasting, and we grew our business super fast. So we scaled it, to 7 figures pretty quickly. And the way we did that was by going to the US all the time and networking with Americans. This was the whole thing. And then I don't know, one time we were on a plane and I was like, do you think there's Canadian groups like this? Is there anyone close to home? And it didn't feel like there were a few groups, but nothing that we could find that felt the same or had our spin on it. And so we started running these little pop-up dinners, and then the dinners turned into so much more. And they started running larger events, 80 people the first time, 100 130 the second, 140, now 180, expecting 200 on March 7th. But really just about, helping women grow their community, really grow their businesses, and really like grow their network. So we know that that's the heart of growing a business. We've never run an ad. Our business, our social snippet business, is entirely referral based. We have 80 clients, always growing, always new calls. And so that's where the heart of it really came from, was us wanting to really help women build their communities so that they can grow their businesses.
Community is kind of like one of those buzzwords that I always wrote off right there with authentic.
Yeah.
But, now I live in the woods. Like, we moved to Manitoba, to the middle of nowhere. No,
Yeah.
sorry, that's rude to like the crows that are my neighbors. But when I lived in Toronto, I was highly involved in everything. And I was a bartender, so I knew everybody. And then I was an actor, so I knew everybody. And then I started getting into entrepreneurship and just started my business. This is like 9 years ago. And then I started to meet entrepreneurs there. And I would go to like networking breakfasts and like the things, and teach classes. And I was surrounded by people. And then we came out here, and I can't find anybody. I have like all my friends are in their 60s because I live in cottage country. But I took it for granted when I had it and didn't realize the value in having like minds around you. And now that's truly the truth of why I jump to go to a retreat or to meet people or to like speak on a stage, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need the human interaction and support. Like, not just getting clients is great, obviously, from the networking, but it's about so much more than that.
So much more than that. And I think it's so interesting because people will come to High Five Women and they'll be like, who are the speakers? And I'm like, oh, I'll tell you who they are. That's fine. But I'm like, it's actually like not about the speakers. It's about the people you're going to be sitting with. It's about the people at your table. They're like, we do like activities. We do like networking. Like, nothing too crazy. Like, don't worry. There's no like, like the activity's not too hokey, but like we do these activities to help people network and like actually grow and build their community. And like, not to be, I'm trying to, humble brag here, but like, we have people who are like, hey, I've made like hundreds of thousands of dollars when I have women events. Hey, I like have sat next to somebody and they changed the director of my business. Hey, I had this conversation and it made me think 10x. Crazy. Like, and that's actually what you need. Like, and whether you live in a small town or you live in a bigger town, like I live, somewhere between you and Toronto, like, in terms of size, but like, I couldn't see what I wanted to be around me. And so it was amazing to me, like how many times this changes when you just get into the right room, which can sometimes feel scary.
Okay, wait. I love that. I couldn't see what I wanted to be around me.
Can you see what you want to be around you? Well, I guess you want to be 60 one day.
Yeah, a fox, a turtle.
But Jenna, maybe this is your sign. I don't know. We are on a bit of a cross-country tour. We have some events slotted in Calgary and Vancouver in the second half of the year. And we're doing some Ottawa. We've done some Halifax. Is Winnipeg our next spot?
I'll help you. And I also have like, if somebody follows me from Manitoba, I'm like, where are you? You want to be friends? Like,
where's your address?
What's the address? Like, meanwhile, I'm like so careful about people not knowing where I actually live because it's like remote and I don't want to get murdered. But anyway.
Mood.
I have known for a long time in business that even though it is scary, it's better to be I'm going to use generic language, just don't take any of it to heart, but like the newest, lowest, whatever, lowest ranking person in a room instead of the best one. Because I've been the best in rooms and there's no growth there.
Yep.
Right. So even though it's scary, to be the greenest person in a room is where the most growth is going to happen. And like you said, it's just so important to be able to witness what you want to be and to be with people who have done the things that you want to do or something similar. Or even if they just have the attitude, it's important to be around people. Like there are people that when I hang out with them, I make more money because of their energy. I swear.
100%. And that's actually like the whole thing with High Five Women. It's like mindset, right? Like you have people, I have lots of friends who work in like not even like comparable industries, like entrepreneurs, right? Like they're not going to be funneling me any kind of business. And it's not like we're doing like anything of the same. Like I have a friend, she sells children's books. She teaches people how to sell children's books. This is her whole thing, which obviously is not what I do. And the amount of money this woman makes is like, I'm like, should I be selling children's books? Like, I'm like, if she can make this much money, it's possible for me too. Like, and that's actually what we really want is we want people to see like a room and they'd be like, oh my God, like I see myself in there. It might not look exactly the way that person did it. It actually shouldn't, but it's because it's my own magic, but it's like really that growth. And that was what would happen to us. We would go to the States and we would be agency owners. And, I wouldn't have never thought of selling an agency. Not that we're going to sell today, but like, I never knew that was an option for us as we were building it. I didn't know. I was like, it would be great if we made six figures. Imagine I had just thought of that. Like, not that that's a huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
But then I meet another person who's like, they're have an 8-figure agency. I'm like, whoa, like, and it makes you just think a little different, right? And so I think it's really important to be surrounded by those kinds of people wherever you can find them.
Oh my gosh, yes. You have to think of it in order for it to happen. Like, you have to think of it first. Maybe you'll get lucky and something will happen that you never even thought of, but you're much more likely to make it happen if you actually thought of it first. And so you need to be inspired by other people to see what they're doing and what's possible to like open up your brain and break it free. I remember so clearly when I was living on Queen Street at Carla in Toronto, and I had been charging $400 for social media one-on-one coaching in person. Like, I'd meet people at coffee shops and stuff and do like 6 sessions, $400. And I said to my husband, I think that I'm going to charge $800 for these. Just like this, like tomorrow they will be $800. And he said, can you do that? I was like, yeah, I think so. Like, I think it's worth it. I just did it overnight, but it came up with it and implemented it. But almost part of you thinks like, is this even allowed?
Yes.
And I didn't know anybody else that did anything close to what I was doing. You need to see what other people are doing, be inspired by it,
Jenna, same thing. But even sometimes, like when you go to rooms, it's like one of those things where you can meet industry friends, like people who do the same thing as you, and you could feel tight, right? You could sit next to someone and they're a social media manager as well. And it's like, oh, well, now everybody's going to work with that person and I'm not going to make any good connections, right? And that's just not the truth. And actually, that's the best person you can meet, because if you guys have the same mindset, I remember the first mastermind we ever did, we were charging $400 a month for social media management. Like, and basically like giving them blood every week. Like, it was crazy. Like, now I look back on this and I'm like, these people took us. $400. And I sat next to this person and their deliverables were less than what we were doing. And they were charging they were like, we would never do anything less than $2,000 a month. Like, nothing. Like, crazy that you would even like think about doing anything for $400. You shouldn't even take the call for $400. I was like, fair enough. And then that helped us raise our prices. And we're still mid-range, I would say, compared to other agencies. And I feel very comfortable with where we're at. And I feel like it's something I can sell. But like, now I look back and I needed to do those things to get there, just how you needed to charge what you need to charge to get to the 800, because sometimes people have the opposite problem. They're like, this service is $25,000. I'm like, have you ever sold it before? No one's paying $25,000 for that. So you need some proof. But I think those peer-to-peer connections are exactly it and exactly what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to Alt Summit last year.
Yes.
I was just in Palm Springs by chance and it was happening. And so I like bought a nice shirt and went, and it was so cool and I freaking loved it. And on day one, I ran into this girl who I had met before in Winnipeg. Her name's Charmaine, and she's a social media manager. And so I had met her. She's like the one person I know in Winnipeg. And she was there and she said it was her 5th year. So I grabbed her in the lobby and I was like, hey, how do I make the most of this experience? And she's like, honestly, it's not about the sessions. Just talk to everyone. And when you sit at a table, get to know everyone. And it's really about the people. And I was like, okay, thanks, Charmaine. Bye. Never saw her again, barely throughout the weekend. I didn't go to sessions. I had intended to go. I went to one. It was a watercolor session. I freaking loved it. But I met up with these people who were in like a high level mastermind that I was in, and they were all speakers. And so I went to their sessions and we all hung out. I went to their sessions to like get people clapping and take B-roll and stuff. Then I just skipped every session and hung out with people. And I had the absolute time of my life. So anyway, with that, do you have tips for when we're in these situations? Maybe we're a little bit shy. Like, how do we get conversations going with people? How do we optimize like a quote unquote networking environment?
Yeah, totally. Well, it's actually funny. I would love if you came to High Vibe Women for you guys to go to the sessions. That would be ideal for me.
No, don't go. Don't listen to her. Listen to me.
No, I've done that too. I go to events. We have this awesome space at our events called the Chill Space, where people can like relax and like take a breath. And I'm like, we're just giving people places to hang out. Like, go back inside. Less chilling. Really what I would say, especially if you're nervous or it's like your first type of event like this, like focus on meeting one person, making one connection. I totally agree. I actually totally agree with Charmaine that it's actually really not about the stage. That's what people ask me all the time. They're like, what about the speakers? I'm like, you actually should buy a ticket before I announce these speakers because it doesn't actually matter. Like they're a catalyst for sure, but it's about the people in the room. Those are the people who you're on your come up with. Those are the people whose stages you're going to speak on. Those are the people who are like your connections. And so really leveraging that is the big piece. So I would say focusing on one or two relationships, and don't be afraid to message people in advance. Like if you know you're going to an event and you watch the event page, see who's posting, send a DM being like, hey, I'm going, I'm nervous. I've also had it where people have reached out to me and they're like, I'm going to your event for the first time. And I'm like, let me get you a buddy. Like, I'll get you a buddy. I'm happy to make an intro for you. Like, I'm so pleased to do that. Like, I just want people to have a great time. So I think it's really about like making that one connection, focusing on that, and having a huge heart of service. Don't go in being like, oh, I'm meeting Jenna. Like, what can I get from Jenna? Like, I hope Jenna gives me these types of referrals. I hope Jenna does this for me. It's like, no, like, what can I actually do for Jenna? So I love to ask questions. And one of the questions I always ask is, what's a win for you right now? What can I do to bring you closer to a goal you have? And what do you need support on in your business right now? And people will tell you, they'll say, oh, I'm looking, actually as women, I think especially we're not trained to tell people because I glitch out when people ask me these questions and then I immediately like, Uno reverse it. But I love to ask. And I love when someone's like, Jen, if you were like, I really want to be on 10 podcasts this year. I'm like, great. Let me think of everybody I know who has a podcast and let me make an intro, right? Like we want to be of service to each other. So I think if we go in with a service mind, that's how you get the most out of it because you build amazing relationships that go past just that one day.
Absolutely. I love that. And it makes you feel better too. That's actually one of the biggest tips that I give teaching Instagram is like, it's the same thing, actually. Make content for the viewer. Make it for people so that they can benefit from it. If you're just asking all the time, you feel bad and then your posts aren't as good in a nutshell.
Yes, 100%. And I think, if you're asking all the time, you get that reputation of asking all the time, right? Like I know some people that are mega askers, right? Like, and I'm not inclined to bend over backwards, right? But then the people who I just meet who are like, oh, I'm like actually struggling with this, or I want to do this. I met someone today who's never been on a podcast. I have 60 podcasts that we produce. I'm like, one of my clients will take you. Like one of them will take you and I will make it happen for you. And like, she was so honored. I was like, this literally was going to take me 5 minutes to do. Brings you closer to your goal. I'm sure you'll think positively of me in the future. Like you can do a eulogy for me, but like, that's the big goal.
Beautiful. Okay, Kristina, who's the perfect person to reach out to you right now for your business?
Yeah, so I would say on the High Vibe Women side, the big piece is like anybody. We have women who are like one day in business, and we have 8-figure women sitting at the same table sometimes. So anybody is welcome to High Vibe Women as long as you have an entrepreneurial dream. And so that there. But on the social snippet side, we work with all different types of folks. We've launched on the podcast, launched over 60 podcasts. We've worked with social media side. We have 40 retainer clients that we work with, and we really focus on helping people build community. So if you are community minded, that's the most important thing to me. So no matter where you kind of work with us, it's really about like, how do you want to build community in that method?
Beautiful. We will link to all of that below. It is early 2026. So if you come to that March event, I will see you there.
Yes. And you can use the code podcast50 to save $50 on your ticket.
Ooh, okay. Love that. Thank you so much, Kristina, for being here.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.